Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. I am not wearing my rings. Oh, hold up. As I was saying, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new, hi, my name is Ashley. Welcome to Ashley's Roses. So today I'm taking you guys along with me for a day in my life. I actually filmed this the other day and I'm filming the Q&A part today, so separately. But I wanted to take you guys along throughout my day because some of you guys might not know this, but I'm a full-time college student. I'm a film major. I have a part-time job. I also am a YouTube content creator, podcast host, and producer. And I also have cystic fibrosis. And so balancing my health and school, it's a lot. So I'm going to take you guys a little bit of a day in my life of what some days can sometimes look like while also balancing a social life. So obviously that was just a little glimpse into what my day looks like. I didn't do a full-blown vlog because honestly, I was so busy that day, I kept forgetting to press record. I'd have the camera next to me and then I would realize later on that I never pressed record. But I have fuller days in my lives and there'll be future college days in my life, cystic fibrosis days in my life. But I wanted this to show you guys a little bit of like with timestamps how much of what goes into my day, and it can sometimes be a lot. I also didn't show you guys my morning routine or evening routine because I've done those in separate videos and not much has changed. Sometimes I'm inconsistent with my routines and then sometimes I do follow my routine, but not much has changed in what my actual routine is. But I also wanted to keep everything short because I knew that the film Q&A would take a little bit longer, so I wanted to kind of shorten everything and that way have time to actually answer your guys' questions. So I went to Instagram and I asked you guys if you had any questions relating to film or cystic fibrosis. And there were a lot of film questions and there was one cystic fibrosis question, and that one was sent in by my friend. So Twin, I'm going to save that for a different time. That way I can answer that in a more clear fashion. Yes, my friend's nickname is Twin. Long story. But the questions I'll be answering are fully focused on film and being a film major and a little bit about the industry. First question. Any advice for someone who wants to attend school for theater/film? Well, first off, that's very exciting that that's what you want to pursue. I did musical theater in high school, well, actually growing up, so it's very much a huge part of my life. So it's very exciting that that's what you want to pursue. And my strongest piece of advice would definitely be to know who you are and also to have tough skin. Both of these industries are very demanding, and they can be very physically, mentally, and emotionally draining. And you're going to be told so many things by so many people of who you are, or who you should be, or who you shouldn't be. And if you don't know like who you are and what your worth is, and I guess what your, I don't know if morals is the right term, but just where you draw the line on certain things. If you don't know those for sure and have that confidence in yourself, it's going to be very swaying, and it's easy to get lost in that. And you also need tough skin, because so many people are going to tell you so many things until you know, and you have to be able to take it and just, brush it off and have tough skin. Am I saying that you need to be tough all the time? No. It's okay to have days where you cry, or if you're overwhelmed. And if you are feeling that way, definitely reach out and talk to people who can help you and encourage you and build you up. I have tough skin. I've had tough skin for a very long time, but there are days when everything can kind of get to me, and it's good to have those people that I can trust to just talk it out. But I'm not saying any of this to discourage you or anything like that, because it's a very fulfilling career of bringing stories and characters to life. But it can just be a little difficult sometimes. But it's such an exciting career and industry, and it's exciting that you want to go into it. So I wish you all the best of luck. And I hope that gave you a little bit of advice that's helpful. Do you feel as an artist your films have a particular aesthetic? Okay, if we're talking about content-wise, like subject line-wise, I love telling people stories. I love documentaries. I would love to create documentaries. But also I love movies that bring inspiration and hope and have a message to them. I really love those movies and want to tell more stories of other people's lives, or tell stories that can encourage others. If we're talking like color aesthetic, I've realized I really like I like warmer tones with pops of color. But also I love black and white. I want to bring more black and white films back, because I love black and white films, and I love like the grainy Hollywood aesthetic. I mean, I know that's not for everyone, but I love like the classic look. So I love those type of appealing looks. But like in modern colors, I love like warm tones. I don't know if that's even what you meant, but I had to say that. But definitely movies that bring inspiration and hope. Let's try this again. The battery died, and I didn't have the other battery charged. So it's been some time. The battery is charged. Take 2. Let's continue answering the questions. How difficult or expensive would it be to write, film, and edit a 15-minute documentary? It depends what your budget is, and depends like what your goal is and the quality that you want it to have. I'm assuming with the question that you've asked us that you're doing it all. So it also depends like what kind of documentary you're filming. Is it narrative? Is it your own story, or are you following someone else's story? Do you have to travel? Because expense-wise, it's not just, creating it. You also have to think of like travel, lodging, food. Do you have a crew with you? You need to pay them for working on the film with you. You need to pay for their lodging and such as well. There's all that has to be figured out, and you have to budget in like how long this is going to take to make this documentary. Like, is it follow someone along for like a year, or is it like a weekend? It all depends. To write, to write a documentary, it's more of like narrative. What's the idea? What's the setup? The plot. Yeah, and to film it, like, do you have your own equipment? Do you have to purchase your own equipment? Do you have to rent your own equipment? So there's also that to contribute to the expense as well. And, depending on how much time and footage that you have, and then to edit it down to 15 minutes. So, is it difficult? It depends. Like, if you just want to slap it together and just be like, YouTube it, just splice it and put it together and boom, like, easy. But if you want to actually put some effort into it, of course, it might be difficult because, you're putting time and effort and energy into it. Expensive, as I just said, all the other things. Also, like, what are you going to do with this documentary once you finish it? Are you going to put it into film festivals? Are you going to just upload it to YouTube? Are you going to try to pitch it somewhere? Like, there's all that you have to think of as well. So there's a lot. But basically, you're kind of in control of how difficult and how expensive you want it to be. Like, you got to put the work in. For the amount of work that you put into something is what the product that you're going to get. So if you're just kind of chilling and lazy and just kind of like, this will do, then that's the product. But if you're going to like, no, I want this to look beautiful and professional, then you have to work very hard to be able to pull that off. I'm not saying that it's impossible. It's not impossible. But there are just other factors you need to think of when starting your own film or short film or documentary, and etc. What's been one thing you've learned about film that's helped the most? One thing I learned most about film that's helped the most. I think the fact that we are all storytellers and each one of us has a story to tell or wants to tell a story. And, not to take the criticism to heart. That's why you gotta have tough skin. Not take it to heart, because everyone are storytellers and artists, and they also want you to succeed and want your vision and your story to come to life just as much as theirs. So when you receive criticism, it's for a reason. It's to help make that story better. I think I've also, a lot of it's like personal things I've learned about myself and just gaining confidence and such. But like when it comes to actual craft of filming, I've definitely learned a lot about screenwriting. And I never thought I would enjoy screenwriting, but I've fallen in love with it. And I would love to write screenplays in the future. But it's just, I've just been honing in on my crafts and figuring out what I love most in this industry and what I want to continue to do after school. What's your goal with film / where do you want to work? My goal with film is to continue to be a storyteller and to share stories that have an impact on others. Whether that's through documentaries, there are a few documentaries I would love to create, or writing screenplays and bringing different stories to life. There's a few screenplays that I want to do. Or, one day I would love to direct and screenwrite a few Hallmark Christmas movies, because I love Hallmark. But my goal is just to continue sharing stories and just making an impact. And also I've been able to take some of what I'm learning and apply it to my YouTube, whether that's how I edit or just planning out videos or anything like that. Just applying in those areas and just continue to make content better for you guys, but also making an impact for you guys as well and for my platforms all around. But bottom line, I've been learning that it's okay to say I don't know. And it's okay to say, I don't know where I'm going with this career. And there's a lot of people, they want to hear all the answers and want to know what your goal is in life and such. And I used to be that way. I used to like plan way ahead of schedule. But nowadays, I'm honestly just trusting God of where He wants me to go and continuing to work hard, but trusting His guidance of going into this industry, because it's a big industry and it's intimidating, but I know God has a plan through it all. And at the end of the day, I just want my films to inspire and impact people, and I want God to use me through it all. So that is my number one goal, no matter where I end up. Anyways, you guys, those are the questions for relating to film school. There were a couple other questions I received, one related to CF, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to cover that at a later time. And then there's this other question that I was asked, but if you guys want to hear the answer to that, you're going to have to check into next week's video, because in that video, I will be answering and basing my entire video around that one question. So that's something you don't want to miss. So definitely be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on that post notification bell so you're notified of when new videos go up. And definitely give this video a thumbs up. And follow me on Instagram and social media. I'm most active on Instagram Monday through Friday, and sometimes Saturdays, daily. And the dogs say hello, but there is daily content going out on Instagram. So be sure to follow that. And oh my gosh, dogs. And last but not least, be sure to follow the podcast. It's available on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts. Also have an Instagram, Blooming Roses Podcast, because season 4 is going to be out into the world on April 5th. So not that far away, but I'm really excited for this season. It's going to be great. So thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.